Good.
Good.
Yeah,
Very
we've
good.
had a kind of nice few relaxing days in Rotterdam. So we're feeling a little bit more refreshed today, I think.
Rejuvenated, recharged, re-energised. Any other word that means the same thing?
Lucozade.
Yeah, we're feeling good.
How did the show go?
Rotterdam was great, wasn't it?
Really good. We didn't. Actually, I was about to say we didn't expect it to be that good, but Lowlands was so good. That gig, so I did expect it to be good, and it was.
It was amazing.
Yeah, had a great end tonight as well. I'm expecting it to be really great. I'm excited for that, big time.
Because if we, I looked on your Facebook this week, and then I think a couple of weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, you had to cancel a show because of your struggles with your voice. So
yeah, I've been ill. I actually annoyingly got ill again yesterday.
Okay.
Just obviously when you're spending 6 weeks with the same people, kind of circulates. You get colds that come back round, and I'm prone to getting a cold. So I've got one again. So I've just got to dose up and that stuff. But I'm fine. Last night we got through it, and I'm going to keep on dosing up, and it goes away after a couple of days. But in Brighton, it was just so bad. Like, it was really bad. I couldn't
even
sing.
talk.
I couldn't talk or anything. I had to stay in England when everyone else flew to Berlin because the doctor didn't want me to get on the plane. So it was a bit annoying.
But it was only a short-term thing. It wasn't.
Yeah, it's not actually my voice.
Okay.
Just illness on top.
Yeah.
And well, the guys flew over to Berlin, and I saw a post as well where you met some of the fans, and then you asked them to come out.
Yeah.
So was it now in this day and age with social media? Is it important as a band to kind of do those kind of things?
Yeah, of course. I think it means it's an easier way than ever to engage with your fans. It means we can put a message out saying we're going to be at so and so location, and if you want to come down and say hi, because we feel they hate that we cancel shows. They don't hate it as much as us. We really hate doing it, and we will only do it if we have to, and it's just out of Conor's health. It's not something you can help. But yeah, we said we were going to be at a pizzeria, and we invited the fans down, and we bought them some pizza and hung out with them, and sort of just apologised for having to cancel the show. But yeah, we thought we could try and make it up by doing that, and then rescheduling for next year. So
okay, well. Now, before we talk about the music, I always like to go back to the beginning. Conor, we already spoke, so
yeah.
I won't touch upon it that much.
That's
but
cool.
You went to America, I believe, for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
When was this decided?
Do you know, I can't remember when it was now. I get so old.
I think it was around 2012.
2012.
We'd been writing at my house in Essex, back in England, and we kind of stagnated with the writing. It was all sounding the same. It was all rubbish as well. When it was
pretty poor.
It was absolutely crap. And
It was so bad.
We needed to get away from it. We needed to be inspired. We needed just to, just get out of the four walls and the shitty luminous light on the ceiling. And that's kind of what encouraged us.
The trip was, yeah. Our managers are from LA and New York, so we just had some friends out there. We stayed and crashed on couches, met some people, got some perspective, really.
We went to LA, Nashville and New York, so we got a real taste and flavour for the different music scenes in each state, which was
It was really
amazing.
interesting, yeah. Yeah, it's like an educational trip. And then came back and we wrote the first EP within like a month or two.
Yeah.
Well, you say it gave you a new perspective. Can you share one thing that kind of stuck with you?
I mean, formulaic-wise for songwriting, Nashville was very much, it was formulaic. So they had a set way of writing, and didn't really work with us. They'd have like their lyric, their hook, that they'd have to finish the tag at the end of the song with, and like it was a set few chords.
Systematic way.
But then in LA, it was all about the beats and the breakdown and the top line in. And the thing is, what we learned with all of these, it was we can amalgamate them all together for us, and that's the way we work. There is no formula. We just do what comes on the day, and sometimes it comes out great, sometimes it's shit, like Dom said.
We realised, I think, from that trip, what we like how we like to write and how we don't like to write, which is like this process of elimination. And we also learned that there's no set starting point. For Nashville there is, but like for us it was, it can be a sonic,
fun,
it can
isn't
just
it,
be a
really?
noise, it can be a sonic that starts, it can be a lyric, it can be just a beat, it can be anything that might inspire a song. So.
And then if you go back to those in 2012 where you say what you were writing wasn't that good.
Yeah.
can you pinpoint now, after having gone through that trip, and can you pinpoint now why it wasn't that good?
I think we just practice. It's like anything. You know, you can't run before you walk. We just weren't good enough writers, and we'd always been performers, but writing was something we had to learn to do. You know, from the age of 17, 18, we didn't have a background of writing songs since we were kids. We had to learn that, and we worked really hard, the three of us, for like 3 or 4 years to write good songs, and eventually we stumbled upon it, and then every song since has got better. We now understand how to do it, and we are getting better at it, I guess. So
I think the other thing that we noticed was, like, if you look back at our old songs, if you could even call them songs, they would. It was finding a way of blending everything that we loved in a way that would sound new and refreshing. And sometimes we'd be inspired by a song or a band or take influence from something, and it just wouldn't come out right. It was really difficult to kind of emit the sound that we wanted to create. Does that make sense?
yeah.
So it took a long time to kind of work that out on itself.
So did you know what the sound was going to be in a way?
I think we always had a rough vision in our heads, but we just couldn't quite tap into it yet. And it took a while, and it was actually a song called Excuse Me, was the first song that we all looked at each other and we were like, wow, this is our sound, and let's kind of carry on down that path. And then we did, and the EP came out really quickly because of that kind of idea. It's really cool.
Excuse me, how did it come together then? Was it just...
That was fairly quick, but that was like a 2-hour session in a studio in London.
I actually remember...
That was the first time I played with my falsetto, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, there was the experimentation with that. I remember sitting at the piano, and I'd been listening to the Lana Del Rey album,
Yeah.
and it had those kind of dark, yet sometimes sweet chords in it.
We were having a conversation about what, you know, I remember that because we would just go off the train, had a conversation about the train journey and about life and about what we were doing.
London living,
and
wasn't
that's
it?
what Excuse Me came from, with all like the nuances of London living.
I think that's why it was so natural, because it actually just came from a genuine discussion.
We were just chatting,
had.
and then Dom on the piano, and then I just tried the falsetto thing for the first time because I've been listening to Buckley heavily over the last couple of years, and it all came together, and that was our soundscape. That was Nothing But Thieves. Came from that one journey then in that room.
Yeah, you mentioned Jeff Buckley, and then it kind of, when I heard Excuse Me, it kind of was reminiscent of the way he uses his voice. So, yeah, how do you incorporate, in a sense, your inspirations into the music?
Do you know, I was literally thinking about that earlier, about how, I guess, genre bending our album is. The fact that we have so many different bands that we like, or artists, or pieces of music that we like individually, let alone just one person.
Sure.
And then we knock them all together, it's going to come out quite varied. I was thinking about this, like when you hear a band that just sounds like, I don't know, Oasis, it's like, is that your only influence? Is that the only band that you like? We physically can't do that because we have so much appreciation for all different styles of music that we can't help but want to put it in our own music.
Literally,
you know what I mean?
every band that we love will rub off on us and in our music, whether we like it or not. And it's not like we listen to one band and we're like, oh,
let's do all of that, yeah.
We love the sound of their drums, or we love their lyrics. It's just like, we love a band because of the whole thing they do.
So we can't help but feel, just emit as much music into our own music that, you know, we can't help that. We're not a one-trick pony in that sense. Yeah.
It's a very natural sort of transition from what we listen to what we
definitely.
And I was doing research, and then the couple of names that came up were Jeff Buckley, Radiohead, Arcade Fire. Who are some artists or some bands that people wouldn't expect?
Recently, been really into Everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely incredible band, and probably the album of the year for us.
For Everything, actually, like that band, the melody, the lyrics, the music is so inventive. Yeah, I think, the album of the year, band of the year. Absolutely. I mean, I reckon Dom takes a lot of production influence from things you would never expect, which I love, because it ties it weirdly with our stuff that you'd never expect. I mean, I listen to a lot of jazz and blues, and I take that with my vocals, but I wouldn't, you know, it's not part of the writing process, but it's just something that just kind of seeps naturally through me, you know.
I think as well, like Joe is like rock through and through.
Joe can't help but be the rock guy. like with everything he does. And I like that he has an attitude about life in that sense.
Well, it's cool
as
because it will never come out too bluesy, and it will never come out too electronic or produced, because it gets sort of dragged into
this blend,
in the middle. It's like a pop. It's great.